This is News 8 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for watching News 8 Now. I'm Sophia Pullman. We start with breaking news. 2 of the 4 Americans kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico are dead. Mexico's president confirmed the details with media this morning. He did not share details about where or how the 2 deceased were found. As for the 2 survivors, one was found injured and the other unharmed. More U.S. lawmakers are discussing TikTok. U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Mark Warner will introduce a bill this week that calls for a ban of TikTok and other Chinese technology. The Democrats cited data privacy concerns and video content concerns as reasons for the ban. Last week, the House Foreign Affairs Committee voted to allow the government to ban TikTok. According to CBS News, 1 in 6 Gen Zers use the video sharing app daily. Many go the app for advice or social media therapy. Researchers believe the app is not reliable for medical information and may be harmful for youth mental health. Last month, the CDC released a report that showed a 60% increase in suicidal thoughts for teen girls since 2011. In a statement with CBS News, representatives of TikTok's U.S. headquarters say they are testing ways to slow the spread of misinformation, and they strongly encourage their users to get professional medical advice. Wisconsin's Attorney General is joining others asking TikTok to comply with investigations. Josh Kaul announced that he's joining 46 other states' attorneys generals who are looking to review the app company's internal communications. Investigators want to determine if TikTok violated consumer protection laws by doing things that can harm the mental health of app users, especially children and teens. In a release, Kaul says parents deserve to know what leadership at TikTok knew about the dangers of their product.
Well, so far this afternoon, haven't really seen a whole clouds as of yet, but they are still forecast to increase here from the west as we continue to progress into those later afternoon hours, especially too. So let's get a quick check here, shall we? On the satellite and radar picture, you can see everything looking rather clear. Notice the clouds, though, increasing just off to the west, and that's a sign here of what's to come for what will be a mainly cloudy afternoon. Temperatures are into the upper 30s to low 40s. It's 38 degrees in Eau Claire now and 42 degrees here in La Crosse. Let's get checked out on the afternoon forecast overall. Again, increasing clouds, especially between 3 and 5 o'clock. Seasonable afternoon temperatures, highs in the low 40s there, and overall a light breeze out of the east-northeast to east at around 5 to 10 or so miles an hour during much of the day. Now stay tuned because we will have a check on that full weather forecast. I'll talk about what's to come here later this week as far as what we could be looking at for a potential winter storm. Sophia?
Wisconsin's 2 Supreme Court candidates will debate ahead of the April 4th election. In an interview at News 8 Now's Dan Kelly shared his thoughts on the debate and his opponent, Janet Protowicz.
Well, because I think that if you do a comparison, a side-by-side comparison between Janet and me, what you'll find is that Janet is a politician dressed in a black robe, and that's all she is. And she doesn't want people to see that.
Our Madison sister station is one of the 3 organizations co-hosting the debate. The debate will be streamed live on channel3000.com starting at 12:45 p.m. We here at News 8 will then broadcast the debate on our channel later at 4. It's around that time of day that you've either had your morning cup of coffee already or you're on to the next one. Worldwide, nearly 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed every day. During National Caffeine Awareness Month, News 8 Now's Dua Ishrar tells us how much coffee is too much coffee.
What can I get started for you? The sounds of freshly brewed coffee signals the start of the day for many.
I drink it because I enjoy the taste.
I probably drink more coffee than water, which is not a good thing.
I started drinking coffee when I was like 5.
But sometimes the jolt from just 1 cup of joe,
It used to be a lot more.
or 2,
5 to 10.
isn't enough.
Get a black coffee to go in whatever this gentleman wants.
There's a couple of common myths brewing about coffee. Number 1, it can stunt your growth.
As far as research shows, that is a myth. Number 2, one too many cups and you may be up all night.
Each person responds to coffee or the caffeine in coffee differently, so some people are more sensitive to it, and it could cause insomnia for some people.
Number 3, coffee can be bad for your heart.
What we're seeing research show is associated with drinking coffee is less likely of certain chronic diseases like heart disease, some cancers, possibly diabetes.
Number 56.
Whether it's hot or ice.
The iced matcha with oat and the iced chai with oat.
Health benefits that we see with coffee drinkers is we're talking about black coffee that's unsweetened.
Experts say having an additional cup or two can do more than just get you through the day. Reporting in La Crosse, Duas Shrar, News 8 Now.
Experts say people who are pregnant, have high blood pressure or anxiety should limit their coffee intake more than the average person. When we come back, California's breaking business with the nation's second largest drugstore chain. Stick with us for today's Money Watch. Stocks kicked off the week Monday with mixed results ahead of the Federal Reserve Chairman's testimony on Capitol Hill today. The Dow climbed 40 points, but the Nasdaq dropped 13 points. The S&P 500 gained 2 points. CBS News' Chanel Call has the latest business headlines from New York.
CBS News has confirmed federal regulators are preparing to block JetBlue's nearly $4 billion proposed acquisition of Spirit Airlines. The lawsuit could be filed as soon as this week. The deal was announced back in July after JetBlue topped a rival bid from Frontier Airlines. This would create the fifth largest air carrier in the country. The Justice Department declined to comment, but JetBlue's CEO told the Wall Street Journal this week the company would fight a government lawsuit in court. California Governor Gavin Newsom lashed out at Walgreens yesterday, saying his state will no longer do business with the nation's second largest drugstore chain. It comes days after Walgreens said it will not mail out abortion pills in 20 states, where attorneys general warned the company that it risked breaking the law. Newsom says Walgreens is cowering to extremists and putting women's lives at risk. Walgreens responded that it will dispense the medication consistent with federal and state laws. And tomorrow will mark International Women's Day, and toy maker Mattel has now introduced a new Barbie to honor a one-of-a-kind woman, British space scientist Dr. Maggie Adair Pocock. The former president of the British Space Association has worked on the James Webb Telescope. She's also an educator and BBC presenter. Her doll comes with a star-studded dress, purple-tinted braids, and a telescope accessory. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
As we head to break, here is a live look at the New York Stock Exchange. Stay with us. More news is next. How intermittent fasting may protect the heart from COVID, and the number of patients who's misled others after their child tested positive for COVID during the pandemic. Christian Benevides looks at some of today's top health stories.
A new survey published in the journal JAMA finds a quarter of parents say they didn't tell others that their child had COVID-19. They lied about their child's vaccination status, or they didn't have their child adhere to prevention protocols. The most common reasons cited were the inability to stay home from work to care for sick children and wanting the freedom to do what they thought was best for their family. The survey found some parents of younger children lied about a child's age so the child could get vaccinated. A new study finds patients with previous heart disease who get COVID-19 have a lower rate of heart complications from COVID infection if they practice intermittent fasting compared to patients who do not fast. Utah researchers found the best results among patients who had fasted for decades because it reduces hyperinflammation in the heart associated with poor COVID outcomes. And children with LGBTQ parents fare as well as, and sometimes better than, children with opposite-sex parents, according to an analysis of 34 studies. The review, published in the British Medical Journal, looked at a number of categories, including mental health, physical health, education, stress, and how the family functions. Researchers found preschoolers in particular flourished in sexual minority families in terms of their mental health and relationships with their parents. Those are some of today's top health stories. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
Here's a live look through CityCam 8. Derek is in next with our forecast.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are starting to see the clouds begin to slowly increase across much of the Coulee region. A bit of a milky, hazy sky out there from CityCam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Current conditions are at 42 degrees. We have a feel-like temperature, though, of 35 when you factor in the wind chill. That's because the winds are picking up here just a bit, east-northeast at around 13 miles an hour. Visibility, though, looking clear at 10 miles. Mississippi River Stage is at 5.32 feet. Here's a check on the current conditions now for you folks in Eau Claire. 38 degrees now, feel-like temperature of 33. Visibility is just as clear as what we saw in La Crosse at around 10 miles. Temperatures in Black River Falls at 42, Sparta's at 39, Viroqua coming in at 38 degrees, Winona towards the west at 41, and you're seeing Boscobel right now with the temperature of 44. Our forecast highs today are expected to be into those low to mid 40s as you just saw. So right now we're not too far off from those actual air temperatures, meaning that we're pretty close to hitting our highs. 42, mostly cloudy skies at 3, followed by those cloudy conditions just continuing to increase by the time we reach late this afternoon, and really the same can be said too as we head into early this evening. As of right now, pretty clean sweep right now on the satellite and radar picture, looking at mainly clear skies, but you can see those clouds beginning to move in slowly from the west as a disturbance is expected to increase those clouds here throughout much of the day, especially as we head into those later afternoon hours. And then as we approach the evening, it's still very cloudy. In fact, completely overcast conditions, one could argue, for much of the area with those temperatures into the 30s and 40s. Now, as we head into tonight, we're still going to be very cloudy. A slight chance of a snow flurry is also possible underneath some of those thicker clouds that may develop here throughout the day. And you can see another model kind of showing the same thing here as we head into this evening with some of those snow flurries as we head into overnight tonight. So looking ahead, this is what we're going to be dealing with. A developing low pressure system back towards the west is expected to move east, and you can see it taking shape here across the central U.S. And then as we head into late Thursday afternoon, we're going to start to see the snow move through, but it's really going to come heavy here as we head into Thursday night, and it looks like as well as into Friday morning. That should be somewhere the heaviest snow should set up as long as we're on the south side of the system, because the low is expected to be mainly south of us, but we're going to be on the north side. So that means that we're going to be on the snowy side of the system, and not only snowy weather conditions, but also pretty hazardous conditions with some blowing snow and some of those gustier snow bands that could set up and move through. Now by noon on Friday, a lot of that snow is going to be well to our east by that point as it continues to move away from us. So overall, here's what we can expect. The timing, late Thursday afternoon through Friday morning. The heaviest snow Thursday night into early Friday morning. Any indications of around 4 to 6 plus inches of snow is possible between Thursday and Friday. Overall, snowy conditions, heavy at times, and some hazardous travel impacts here as well to work with. So that's something that we'll be monitoring here as we head into Thursday and Friday, where we see those alert days there. And temperatures will be dropping too into the 30s as the storm system begins to pull through. Highs into the upper 30s for those alert days on Thursday and Friday. And we're going to keep our highs in the 30s through this weekend with another chance of some snow showers moving through. By early next week, we're going to dry out, but our high temperatures will be mainly into the upper 30s. So a little cooler here coming up, and it looks like it's turning snowier here too.
Just as the snow from last week melts,
exactly.
we get more.
Another round comes in. So kind of rinse and repeat.
Thanks, Derek.
Yep.
Still to come, a project 20 years in the making. Gunderson Health System is debuting a brand new audiology clinic. Health officials say it will enhance the patient experience.
You expect more. So thank you for watching News 8 Now.
A much anticipated renovation is now complete at Gunderson Health System's audiology department.
We've always been able to have the benefit of state-of-the-art technology here, but a lot of patients look around and go, really? You know, the space had a little bit to be desired.
The clinic has already had their first patient in the new space. This project has been in the works for more than 2 decades. Department leaders say besides the new look, they wanted to make the department more accessible for patients.
One big thing was with our diagnostic test booths, always had steps into them, and we were always concerned about it being a tripping hazard or mobility hazard for patients despite the ramping. So now we have 0 entry into all of our booths in the Cross and in the Onalaska remodel that happened a year ago.
Dr. Mainkey says the brighter space will also help kids feel more comfortable when they visit the audiology department. Stay with us. We'll have one more check of your forecast when we return. Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Make sure you join us at 5 and 6. Have a great afternoon, everyone.